Hi everyone, Amy here with Amy's Wares, and today I'm going to show you a very simple stencil technique. Now this is the new diamond lines from A Colorful Life Designs, and it is a 3x6 and it's part of the February 2023 release. I have 4 colors of Distress Oxides that I'm going to use: Mermaid Lagoon, Seedless Preserve, Villainous Potion, and Prize Ribbon. Now I'm going to use the little blending foams with wooden handles, and I'm going to work directly on a card base, and my inspiration is this card bling that came with my recent order of stencils. So here's a photo of the finished card. It came together really quickly, and it's a fun way to maybe think outside the box a little bit, or just think about using your stencils differently. So there's nothing groundbreaking or new with this concept, but I do think it's something that we might often forget to do. So basically I'm able to create this look by doing ink blending on this very simple design, and then by rotating it. That's it. So I encourage you to take another look at your stencils and see if there's a different way that you can create a new look. So maybe it's just shifting it off to the side, or turning it 90 degrees, or even flipping it over. But you'd be surprised, especially with things like this that are kind of geometric, the really cool looks that you can achieve. Now, I didn't do a trial run on this. This was my first time playing with it. I wasn't really sure how it was going to look, and I am so pleased with how this design turned out, and that was just simply by rotating the stencil. So I encourage you to really stretch your supplies and create new looks with your stencils, just by doing this simple act of rotating it. So to start, I'm just ink blending on the top with the 2 blue colors, and then I'm going to move into the bottom section with the purple and the Seedless Preserve. Now initially when I looked at this, it kind of reminded me of like sound waves. So I looked more at like the open spaces on the stencil rather than the diamond shape that it left behind. So that was kind of just my perception of looking at the stencil. But obviously as I ink blend it and then rotate it, it really does end up creating the focal point from that cool diamond in the center. So this particular stencil, you could continue the design by lining it up side by side, or lining it up the long way. And I'm sure you could create all sorts of different fun looks, maybe even just rotating at like 45 degrees and seeing. So I'm excited to play with this and see what other sorts of designs I can create. So here I'm just going to remove the magnets that are holding the stencil down, and then this post-it tape to reveal the initial layer of the ink blending. Now initially I was lazy and I was just going to get to work and just rotate it, but then I thought, you're working right on a card base, don't be silly. So I just removed the tape carefully, and then I actually cleaned off my stencil, made sure it was nice and dry before I moved on to the next step. So here, this is where I was debating on going, but then I was like, I'm gonna make a mess, and I sure did, because I think I had that flipped upside down. So there I am pressing onto it and actually putting fingerprints of ink all over the place and making a mess. So see, look, I had it flipped over. Wow. Do yourself a favor and actually clean off your stencil before you attempt this, and then you'll have better luck. So what I did here, I just grabbed my Mono sand eraser. If you don't have one of these, I greatly recommend it because it's great for little smudges or fingerprints. It just kind of sands off the very top layer of the paper, and you can save many a projects this way. Ask me how I know. But anyway, it was able to get rid of the little smudges that I put all over it. And then once my stencil was dry, I just rotated it 90 degrees and kind of lined it back up. And right away I could see that those lines were going to overlap and create a really cool checker design. So I was excited for how this would look. So now I'm just going to mask off the top and the bottom, and then also the little rounded corners, which almost got past me, and then I realized, like, oh wait, I'm going to get ink all over that. So you'll see when I start ink blending here, I get perilously close to the edge, and then I realize that it's rounded and think, oh, that was a close call. Crisis averted. Got a little piece of mint tape here, and I'm covering up those corners. So now I'm starting with the blue on the top and bottom, and then going into, I don't remember what color I chose next. Oh, the purple. So I'm kind of switching it up. I'm not doing the blues together and the purples together. I'm just kind of switching it up. I'm throwing caution to the wind. I don't know what's going to happen, but, well, I do know, and you know too, because you've seen the picture. But at the time, I didn't know how it was going to turn out. So the suspense was killing me. I was excited to see how it looked. And now I'm coming in with my favorite seedless preserve. I think that might be my favorite all-time color of Distress Oxide, or at least one of them. And now I'm doing top and bottom, so I'm not even doing it the same as the other side, but I wanted to incorporate the same 4 colors. So now, easy peasy, I'm just going to remove these magnets and get the tape off of there and reveal my design. So I'm really excited at this point. I can hardly contain it. Hurrying up, trying to clean my work surface so I can see how it looks. And I am so pleased. I love that it looks almost, I don't know, what would you say? That's like quilting pattern maybe? I don't know what it reminds me of, but I really like how it looks. Now this is the We Stand With You stamp from Hero Arts. It's a collaboration set. Tons of gorgeous heartfelt sentiments on it. And this Stick With Love happens to fit perfectly in that little inner diamond. So I'm just going to put that down in my mini Misty and then figure out which color I want to stamp with. So I knew I was going to use that purple blingage that Mary Kay sent me from A Colorful Life Designs. So I figured I wouldn't do purple stamping, and I had to pick which one of the other colors. And I did end up going with the Mermaid Lagoon and stamping that on the inside. And I did stamp it a couple times. I think I need to re-ink this pad. But if you aren't familiar, Distress Oxides stamp beautifully. So Distress inks, not so much. But the Distress Oxides, because they're hybrid and partially pigment, will stamp gorgeous, even with sentiments. So very simple design here, nice and flat. It's going to be lightweight, easy to ship. And now I'm getting out these gorgeous little flat back. They're like flat back sequins, but they don't have the hole in them. And they come in all different sizes. So I'm going to put 3 on the top, 2 on the bottom, because I like to work in odd numbers, and use my jewel picker to place those down onto the card. And that is it. Super easy. So get out those stencils and switch them all around. Move them all around. See what happens. You'll get fun, cool designs for all different sorts of styles. And if you love this stencil and love geometric stencils, then be sure to check out the rest of the February release, because it's amazing. And I have a coupon for that too, AmyFan10. So thanks so much for spending time with me today, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.